It is a new, improved version of the radar detector, upgraded to warn drivers about photo-enforced intersections and those with a history of crashes. The story is featured on today's front page of the Chicago Tribune. And the reporter is John Hilkevitch. John, joining us live from the Tribune Tower. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
Certainly, Steve.
Yeah. You know, in the good old days, we had the old radar detector, or fuzz buster is what some of us called it. This is kind of moving it a step further.
You're right, it is. Although the people marketing these say this is not to evade the law. After all, I don't think most people go through red lights on purpose. It's really to increase the driver's situational awareness that they might be approaching an intersection that has a history of crashes and has red light enforcement going on, and also places that might have speed cameras along the highways, such as Governor Blagojevich wants to do here in Illinois.
How do these things work?
Basically, they have memory points. It uses GPS. And there's a software system that has all the locations, not only in the Chicago area, but across the entire country, where there are red light cameras or where there are stationary cameras affixed to light poles, say, on the side of highways. So when you drive close to one of those points, the computer warns the driver you're approaching a red light intersection, and if your speed is too fast, it'll also remind you of your speed as well as the speed limit.
And as I read in your piece today, it's a woman's voice with a British accent, sort of like, there is a red light cam ahead, something like that.
You got it. These devices are made in Scotland by a company, and they're being sold in the U.S. Just the last few months. So there is that added enticement if you like a nice British accent.
Who's buying these devices?
They say it's about 50-50 younger folks, but surprisingly, a lot of older people are buying it as a defensive driving enhancement and a safety device so that they know when they're coming up on a red light location, and they can maybe slow down even more and look both ways for someone who might be jetting across a red light in the opposite direction.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of these. I mean, the governor wants to put these speeding cameras, surveillance cameras, on hundreds of miles of interstates in Illinois.
Right. There's no doubt this is in direct response to the technology that we see states and municipalities trotting out. If it does improve safety, however, that's a good thing. Local authorities, unlike the fuzzbuster, local authorities like these devices because if it gives the driver more information about potentially dangerous situations, maybe we could reduce crashes. And after all, in just the Chicago area alone, 800 to 1,000 red light crashes a year.
Well, authorities like them also because there's a bit of revenue enhancement here, is it not?
Oh, certainly. With the red light running cameras, it's a $100 fine upon conviction, and the city is on track to collect something like $50 million in revenue from fines this year.
But back to these devices, do they not depend on help from the public? I mean, how do these devices know where they're all located? And it would seem they'd have to be updated all the time.
Right, they are updated, and when you purchase one of these, and they're not cheap, the device I wrote about today is $300, but you can upload new locations as they come online, and these companies do, they track it themselves, but they also invite the public, if you see a new location, to let them know, and they will add it to their software.
It works on GPS. John Hilkevitch, always a pleasure to have you on this latest device, a cop in a box. I like that.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Hanging out with Olympic athletes, the special trip one local girl got to take to see the Beijing Games. She's an actress and